Hey everybody, Andy here, aka Montoyo. We're back for another Vintage League, and we are playing Golos Shops today. This is round 4, and we're playing Thim. I did see Thim yesterday, and they were likely on what was Grixis Sedgwich. We won the die roll, which is good. This hand, however, is not great. I guess I'll keep it. Like, Sphere Resistance is pretty good against Sedgwich decks. I've got double Wasteland, and as always, as I advocate, we have better draws with reference to our Sol lands in our deck to getting out of these type of situations better than our non-workshop opponents. So if this gets Wastelanded or countered, we have a second one to back it up, which is pretty solid. So obviously not super ideal. Thim does run Wastelands in his deck as well. Excuse me. So hopefully we draw a land next turn, and we will have the option to Wasteland or Ghost Quarter. Okay, my opponent is on Wastelands too. Let's do that. That's what I'm talking about, being able to draw things like Sol lands here. Pretty good. So my opponent is fetching. So what does that mean? Do they have an Ancestral Recall? Or maybe they're wanting to tap their non-basic? Yeah, so they got an Ancestral Recall, which seems good. I think I'm going to take their Wasteland and leave them with the blue source there. Now, the Sphere is going to resolve, which seems pretty good. We have a snake next turn, a 2/2 snake, which is something. They found a Mox. Yeah. Alright, Revoker would be a solid draw. Workshop. Okay. I mean, pretty good. Look, not super ideal, but this is the world we're living in, and we can draw out of this. We got workshops, and we've got a Tolarian Academy, and a bunch of disruptive lands that can impact the opponent here. Okay, so they are struggling on land. 3, I cannot cast that yet. The question is are they running non-basics? And I feel like a deck that's running Wasteland typically doesn't. So I think I'm going to gamble and try and get rid of that volcanic island and hope they don't have a basic. I mean, it's fairly greedy for a deck to carry basics in that fashion. I mean, I don't know their list, obviously, but, you know, the combination of basics, wastelands, and running a 3-color mana base is not an easy thing to do. Yeah, preordained, that's unfortunate. So we need a Sol land or better. 2 cards on the bottom. Okay. Hopefully they did not find a land. They did not. So they have to discard. Okay. Because they're struggling, I'm going to strip mine them here. We also have more lands in our deck, I would think, than they do. Oh, geez, okay. They keep finding Mox is... Okay, Crucible would likely end the game if I could ever get it into play. I mean, you can't feel too sorry for ourselves because we've wastelanded 3 different times in this game. Now, of course, they did benefit from the ghost quarter, so it was a -1 for us. But um, yeah, this is where we do lose is their ability to churn, and we are kind of playing off the top of our library here. Yeah, found land. Okay, we'll take it. I mean, Academy would probably be just hands down our best draw off the top of our library. We would be very likely to win the game if the Academy came down. Like, presumably, Ghost Quarter would just be a strip mine from here. Excuse me. Can't quite cast a Dak. They're still a mana away, so they got to dig through time. So, unfortunately for us, the Tabernacle's really not helping us here. Even if they were to resolve a Sedge Witch, my opponents pretty much just can sit back and, pay for their tokens and kill us that way. So, I feel like we're losing this game. We're +1 mana right now. I guess first and foremost, here is our opportunity right now to try and get a Crucible into play. And if there's a world where we can get the Crucible into play, we might have a chance here. But we need a workshop here. Yeah, probably a workshop would just be the best for Tolarian Academy to pull ourselves out of this one. I mean, I can get the Chalice down at 0. I don't think that serves us here. Like, they've got 3 of their Mox already down here. Like, if I could get a Chalice down at 1, it would be way more powerful in this situation. Like, if they had 1 Mox on the table, I wouldn't even have thought twice about it. But with 3 of them, and they're all the Grixis colors, which I believe is what they're playing. Chalice at 0 does nothing but likely hurt me and specify iteration. Yep. So we are looking for a Mishra's Workshop or a Tolarian Academy. I mean, I would settle for any land here, to be clear. We still are in a position here, despite we have fallen behind, where we have 3 spheres in play and them casting a spell. They're basically getting a spell a turn at this stage in the game. Now that could change here very quickly, but reanimate. Okay, reanimate is not looking very good. They did not play a land. Workshop is not what we need here. I guess I play a 1/1 snake. They can't Dak. The reason I'm doing this is because of Dak Faden. Like, if they play a Dak, they can't touch the Stone Coil. They could steal my Mox, and that way I can turn around and kill it. Yeah, Arcanist is really bad. Okay, we need the land here for the Chalice. Okay, huge. We got it. 1. Yeah, so that was just perfectly timed on the workshop. Excuse me, I apologize. I've got post-nasal drip here with my seasonal allergies and get a bit of mucus buildup. Chalice huge on one there. And with the workshop now, there's a very good chance that we are going to be able to run away with the game. Like if they don't play a land here, demonic tutor, okay. So the demonic tutor is going for something to be able to nuke our chalice here, so they can run away with the game. Um, but what we can do here is, oh, they get a wasteland. Oh, yuck. Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty good. But the thing is it we can still draw out of this. We have other workshops in our deck, other lands that are going to allow us to cast here. So yes, we're losing the race here, but we have lots of outs to this. So I'm going to play the Tabernacle, and the reason being is I just want to tax them as much as I can here. Like them paying 1 here is not ideal as they stand. Oh, what do they got? They got a Lotus. Okay, Lotus is really scary here, actually. Jeez. I am not going to pay for my my stone coil. Actually, maybe I will pay for the stone coil. Reason being is the DAC line that I was talking about. It's not because I'm interested in dealing them damage here. Like that, I know I'm not winning through damage right now. No, this is them getting the Lotus actually was probably one of the worst things that could happen to us now, because they can actually cast pretty much whatever it is they're looking to. I think a Sedgewitch is probably very likely to come down here. Potentially a Doc Faden. And again, I don't know what they've got in their hands, so maybe it's just a bunch of 1-drops. Gotta try. Force of will. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's not a surprise at all that they did that. I'm surprised they didn't pitch something and just keep their Lotus, to be honest with you. Because I almost assuredly they have dead cards with this Chalice, but maybe their deck has a way to get rid of the Chalice. Alright, we still need some help here. I hate to take the damage, but they have another counterspell? Hopefully not. If they don't, what I'll do is I will just bring a workshop back. Okay, they do have a force. Okay, just hard casting. They pitched brainstorm that time. Okay, so at least we have a blocker here. Next turn, hopefully. Or at least we can attempt to double block it. Like we can take 1 here. I mean, we're getting precarious. I'm getting both our Crucibles was not ideal, but Our ancient tomb is now pretty much officially shut off. I find a DAC? Gosh, okay. That's their play for the turn. Ghost Quarter, alright. Well, let's see if we can get this thing into play here. Should have probably played my land to play around a daze. What do I want to name? I think I'm going to take their Mox Jet. Question is do they have another basic in their deck? I'm actually because I know they have so many lands, I'm kind of interested in not wastelanding them here. I'm really wanting to try and get over top of my own spheres here as much as I can, and I don't want to be put in a position where I actually have to use that tomb. Because if I did use the tomb, you look at it now, I mean, I'd basically be in a chump blocking position. And I'm not keen to do that. So once again, we have to hope our opponent is land and 1-drops. I'm not going to block. Statue is pretty nice. Oh, I shot off my own jet. What a turkey I am. Yeah. Didn't think about that. That's actually a game-ending mistake, right? Well, yeah, that was a huge mistake on my part. Had I chose Ruby or Sapphire, I would have been okay here. Okay, well, down to my last turn. I don't usually make the Revoker mistake on Mox, and having done it many times in my life, I'm usually fairly cognizant of that mistake. But it does happen, and definitely is a possibility as to how I'm losing this here. I'm now in a position where I have to chump block. Yeah. All right. Playing tight, guys. As you can see, I've got chump blocker for 2 turns here. The good news for us is we're ahead on clock this time. I have to play her a little tighter next time. Okay, so I've got to put out a chump blocker. This time, we are not going to put it on our Mox Jet. We're going to put it on their Mox Ruby. They could force a will this year. I suspect they'll let it resolve, though, and bide their time. Where it becomes interesting is if they don't have a counterspell and I rip another workshop or an academy. Golos could help clean things up a bit here. Dak Fade, okay. So they did have Dak Fade. I did cross my mind to hit Dak here, but it is what it is. Just seeing if they fetched another basic to give me some information there. Of course, them's too smart to go and fetch a basic in that situation, knowing that I'm digging for the information. But okay, so what do you want to do here? I mean, I don't know if they're just playing, like, do they have all the Moxen? I don't have that information. I feel like Relic of Progenitus could be okay. I'm not probably keen to have Null Rod here. Chalice is very good. Um, I feel like suffocating them is probably the best way to approach this, especially given that they're so far behind on clock. We're just quite content to just ride this out long and slow. Spyglass could be okay for sure, especially on the play. Do I want Coercive Portal? I'm a little more skittish about playing this with Dak Faden, but might be alright. I think I probably could put that away. We just play the long game. Now, of course, it's going to get a lot harder for us post-board because they're going to have so much artifact hate, but that's the world you live in when you're a workshop player. It's a nice hand. Obviously, Wasteland could be a bit of a bummer, but it's all right. I think we're just going to try, well, it's questionable. Do I want to get a Golos going? Probably. Let's get a Golos going. Not even concerned about Golos. I don't want to get. I think I'd just go get a strip mine, right? Okay. Now look, that's a somewhat greedy line for me, not playing the sphere, but because my opponent has wastelands, I'm nervous about um, falling into getting trapped under my own sphere with a wasteland and playing draw go for a whole bunch of turns. Like this situation here now, my opponent knows they're going to lose one of their lands. They don't realize I have a second land, and if I drop a sphere and resolve it now, I'm a lot stronger than I was a minute ago. Just hope they don't have Mox, and that's really what we're trying to avoid here. And of note, Relic can do some work, or 2 cards on the bottom. Okay. Now our sphere resolving here is probably not great, but we're going to try. Wow, just resolves. Oh, interesting. Okay. Now we can set up the Ghost Quarter Strip Mine Lock. So this is a pretty good start for us. Definitely one of our worst draws right there. Get rid of that. I think there's an argument to actually burning our relic there, but I'll give it one more draw. Now I'm going to do it. I have a second Golos. Not going to play it. So my opponent is building up here. We just got a ton of mana. Does Golos do anything here? Not really. I guess I can go get an Inventor's Fair. Or a Caracas. I think Inventor's Fair is just better. I feel like they have to wasteland this, because if they don't, it means that they're going to let me search for something, and I mean I can easily cast something here off of all the mana that I have. I mean they're in a tight spot, but it is winnable from where they are. But it involves them having to be able to remove my Golos and be able to stop my Inventor's Fair. And of course, if they remove my Inventor's Fair, they're that much farther behind on mana. We're going to get a Relic, and yeah, okay. So we got a game there. I think this is pretty good. Opponent much quicker. I mean, that was a much quicker game in general. I mean, time is not likely to become an issue here. Yeah, this is a slower hand for me, but on the draw, it might be all right. Maybe not, though. I do like the Relic, and I like that I have the Mox, but I feel like I can do better. Okay, I'll keep this one. I don't think I want a tab. Tabs are pretty easy put away here. Got a turn 1 Sphere, turn 1 Revoker. Of course, we are not looking very robust on lands right now, but we can draw out of this. We'll drop a Sphere. This probably will get forced, I suspect. No, my opponent's going to play the land denial plan. They might waste me here. Nope. The next question is do they have Dak Faden? I think I'm going to attempt to get a Crucible down here. Now, Shattering Spree is a very real risk that I'm taking here. But I think it's worth it. Like, the Crucible of Worlds is, they know I have the Ghost Quarter, but they do have a basic still in their library. Okay, so they're forced that, which that's good news for me. If we can fade a Wasteland here, I think we're in good shape. So this is probably a spree for both my stuff. They're not. Okay. Well, I think that said, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast an. What can I do here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can't do both. So I think I drop the Sphere. They may just let this resolve. And they did. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wasteland them here. And look, we have to hope they don't have a wasteland. Like if they cantrip here and just play a land, a non-wasteland, we can cast Crucible. And Crucible Wasteland is going to lock things up. Now look, we're asking for a lot here. My opponent is doing something. Maybe they're just going to cast a Mox. Maybe they're going to remove one of my spheres. Yeah. So of note, look, they got my wasteland here, and that is something for sure. But what I can do now is I can ghost quarter their island. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cast. Actually, you know what I can do is I can shut off their lantern. So I think the risk here is okay. So look, I think I'm going to go after their swamp here, and then I'll go after their volcanic. So let's see if they actually have another land basic here. It sucks if they do, so they do. Okay, that's all right. We got roasted a little bit there, but we have a Crucible of Worlds here if we don't get wastelanded. And looks like they're not going to be able to do that. So, I mean, look, Wasteland is a risk here, but I can't do it. Yeah, I can. So let's hope this resolves through a force. They've just conceded. They didn't have the answer because we were going to ghost quarter their lands. So yeah, I mean, solid win there for sure. I like how we played that. Once again, guys, if you're enjoying the videos, please hit the like button, and yeah, we'll see you back for round 5.